Stock market faced a broad-based sell-off today with major US indices experiencing significant declines as investors reacted to economic data, corporate earnings and broader macroeconomic uncertainties. The Dow Jones Industrial Average tumbled 427.51 points, that is a 0.99% decrease, signaling weakness in the blue chip stocks. The S&P 500 also saw a sharply losing of the 104.1111 points, also that is the 0.15% of decline, while the tech-heavy Nasdaq suffered the biggest hit, dropping 484.48 points, that is minus 2.61%, reflecting increased pressure on the growth and technology stock. The sharp declines in the Nasdaq suggest investors are pulling back from the riskier asset amid concerns over the interest rate inflation or potential economic slowdown. Adding to the uncertainty, the volatility index VIX, often referred to the fear gauge, surged by 13.41 points and indicating the heightened market anxiety. The small cap Russell 2000 index also struggled, shedding 34.19 points, that is minus 1.63%, reflecting weakness in domestic focused companies that are more sensitive to economic conditions. The downturn in the US equities may be linked to a mix of factors, including concern over the Federal Reserve policy, inflationary pressures, and global geopolitical risk. Meanwhile, the Canadian markets also faced declines, with the S&P TSX Composite dropping to 86.78 points, that is minus 1.15%, and the S&P TSX 60 falling 15.89 points, that is minus 1.06%. This suggests that broader North American equities are facing similar downward pressures, possibly due to economic concerns or weaker commodity prices. However, Latin America market also painted a different picture, with Brazil's Bovespa rising 0.25%, Chile's S&P IPSA gaining 0.51%, and Mexico's S&P BMV IPC climbing 0.20%. This divergence indicates that investors in emerging markets that may be seeing relative resilience, possibly driven by local economic condition, currency movements, or sector-specific trends. Overall, today's market performance highlights a risk-off sentiments among investors, with equities facing broad declines amid uncertainty over the macroeconomic conditions, while US and Canadian stocks suffered losses. Latin American markets showed pockets of strength, suggesting a complex global investment landscape. Investors will likely be watching upcoming economic reports, central bank decisions, and geopolitical development to gauge the directions of the markets in the coming days. Commodities saw mixed trading today, with energy prices slightly up while the metal experienced decline. WTI crude oil inched up to 0.08% to reach $66.41 per barrel, and Brent crude oil followed with a 0.20% gain to reach $69.12, indicating slight optimism in the oil markets despite broader economic uncertainty. However, the natural gas dipped 1.02% to reach $4.26, reflecting potential concerns over demand or storage levels. Precious metals struggled as gold dropped 0.38% to reach $2,915.40, and silver declined 0.64% to reach $33.13, likely influenced by the market correction or investor sentiment shifting towards other assets. Meanwhile, agricultural commodities remain stable, with soybeans ticking up 0.05% to reach $10.28. The overall commodity market performance suggests cautious investor sentiment, with energy prices holding steady but metal facing profit-taking amid economic concerns. Traders will be closely watching inflation data, Federal Reserve policies, and geopolitical developments to gauge future price movements.